it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming.
And we're coming on to you today from Maui in Hawaii.
That's right.
great island
We're
of
weathering
Maui.
the storms of reality on Maui, just in case. This is where we came for Y2K also.
Yeah. One of the safest places in the universe, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, in the middle of the ocean.
Yep.
Free of static, free of distraction, lots of enhancement for everything that enhances life.
And what makes it great also is that so many wonderful friends here. And on the island
That's
we're gonna
the reason why we get to be here, because we have our friends opening the portals for
Yes,
us.
and some new friends. So we're going to be covering that soon. We'll be introducing you to some new folks out here in the Magical Isles.
That's right. We'll be inviting people.
But meanwhile, we have our science correspondent in San Francisco, Bobby Wilder, on the line. Bobby, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and I can see the storm clouds coming in. We're going to have rain tomorrow.
In San Francisco?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll miss that. We'll be coming back Friday night with the latest plans. And how's your week been, Bobby?
Last week, after the show, I went to Nevada City, and it was October 29th, which was the perihelion of the Three-Eye Atlas. It was a very auspicious day.
Okay, for the uninitiated, what is the perihelion of Three-Eye Atlas? Closest to the sun or closest to the earth or what?
Closest approach to the sun.
Yeah,
sun,
perihelion. Helios is the sun.
Yeah.
And what happened?
I did this medicine ceremony. It was 5-MeO DMT, and it happened to be on the same day as the perihelion. And
Wow, it's
what
just
happened?
synchronicity. I'm just
Yeah.
no plans.
There are no coincidences, just synchronicities.
Katya had planned this out months before, and so she didn't know it was perihelion. I went for it anyway.
Yeah. Well, DMT kind of dissolves ego like dirt clouds in water. I mean, what happened for you?
Yeah, the fact that it was perihelion for Three-Eye Atlas and
Yeah.
you were opening up a channel,
Was there like
you must have gotten some new information.
did you have some kind of contact experience or something?
You know, I'd been following Three-Eye Atlas, and I had watched Stephen Burns, and he was saying that 3 solar mass ejectas and solar flares had hit straight on to Three-Eye Atlas the day before. So I was expecting that it would either burn
Show
up
some
or
signs of being hit by a solar mass ejection.
yeah,
Like
or
you're
get
expecting
put
some response.
or get pushed out or something like that. So we prepare for this experience around noon. We go through this ceremony, and there's a first round that's like half dose. And then it reminded me of other experiences I had in my life before.
Kind of
So I
like
was
an
ready
ayahuasca
for it.
ceremony. It's kind of like an ayahuasca. You know,
It's more like DMT. DMT is also part of ayahuasca also. This is less visual, but more like it's a total white God experience that comes on.
Really?
Yes.
White light, huh? You merged with source?
Yes, exactly. I did see in the second round, which we got the full dose, I saw geometrics, kind of like DMT, but not quite. There's less of the geometrics going on, but definitely the same, you're transported to another planet kind of experience. And this white light God experience came over me. These experiences only last for about 20 or 30 minutes, I guess, but it seems like it's going on for hours while you're in the experience. And I was thinking maybe I should meditate and experience the white light experience that I had when I did. Yeah, I hit quantum consciousness the first time I took transcendental meditation. This is back 40 or 50 years ago. I thought, well, maybe I should do that because I'm experiencing that same white light experience. And I thought, no, sometimes the mantra would cause me to fall asleep or something. What I did next was I just let the experience take it on. All of a sudden, I got this transmission from Three-Eye Atlas.
really?
The transmission was that it was transferring, it was coming by the sun. And it was, instead of absorbing the hits of the solar mass ejectas or the solar flares that were hitting it, it was actually transmitting this high frequency energy and injecting that into the sun. That was the experience I had, as though it had a perp that came here to actually elevate and give some information to the sun as opposed to the sun giving information to it. And
So
that's what I got
seeing is
from
really
it.
just the sun opening up a channel to get a download, huh? This coronal mass ejection is actually just like a black hole, a vortex.
Can you say that again?
How was the sun receiving it from the Three-Eye Atlas? Was it like one of its sunspots, or?
No, it was a direct hit, as if it was an upgrade to the sun.
Planetary upgrade. Maybe
Yes,
this
a
is
planet.
kind of a galactic upgrade system.
A reboot.
The other part of the information I got was this. You can call it an asteroid, comet, whatever you want to call it, but it's not that. It's more of something that is very old, that is twice as old as any material or any comet or any planet in our solar system. It's twice that age. And it's coming from the center of the galaxy. And this information is an upgrade to the sun.
All
And
right.
in
Finally, the
turn,
center of the galaxy has given us an upgrade. Our star has been waiting for this.
yes.
Did it emanate from the Three-Eye Atlas, the energetics that went into the sun? Or did it
Yes.
transfer it from somewhere else? Or?
It was in Three-Eye Atlas, and it had come from the center of the galaxy. And it had held this information until it got to perihelion and transferred this information to our sun. That was the transmission I got.
Wow.
So were you able to decode it? Did
Yeah,
you get
what
any
is-
messages besides the fact that it happened?
What kind of upgrade did our sun get?
Well, it's very interesting. The solar spots and also the magnetic holes that are in the sun right now have rotated from the 29th, and now they're coming around the corner. And in the next few days, those same holes, whatever Three-Eye Atlas went into, are going to be pointing at us in the next few days. So we might get some kind of transmission here. And the closest approach to Three-Eye Atlas to the Earth is going to be December 19th. So we have from now until December 19th to be receiving information from the sun at whatever Three-Eye Atlas gave it. And then there might be transmissions from Three-Eye Atlas later as far as the December 19th. And then it's going to leave our solar system as it passes Jupiter on March 19th also. Yeah. Or no, March 16th is the passing of Jupiter. And then it goes out of the solar system after that.
December
Okay.
19th.
Well, we'll have to do something special on those days
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
if we get any
Easy to remember.
input.
Be celebrating my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Norm. December 19th. Yeah.
Wow.
Easy to remember.
Yeah.
And what exactly happens on the December 19th?
That's our closest approach to Three-Eye Atlas.
To Earth.
Yeah.
Closest approach to Earth, where we could get the best view from ground-based observatories.
Call it Paraterra.
Yes.
Paragaia.
So information transfer. Now, how do we tune into this transmission that's coming up? Is it going to be optical information stored in the sun's photonic transmissions, or sound, or telepathic? You have to be a psychic to
Receive it.
Well,
receive it? Or is it just going to work on us and we don't have to worry about it?
a couple days later, I saw this video by Dr. Michael Sala.
Yeah, I
He's
just
there in
watched that.
Hawaii. He has been following the UFO people, but he's been getting information that this is actually a code advancement that's been imparted into the sun by Three-Eye Atlas, and that it could be DNA activation that could be happening to all of us. And then the other thing
So
is
everybody who thinks they're getting a little cold might actually be getting a DNA upgrade.
yes, that's what it appears.
Now it
Yeah.
appears as a sniffle at first. Suddenly I can speak 10 languages.
We've been seized with all kinds of urges to dance on the beach.
Yeah, well, there's that. That is true. Our body wants to appreciate Hawaii to its fullest.
That's right. We've been spending hours in the ocean, and we've been hanging out with fantastic music people who play dance music, and we've just been having a total upgrade.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fun. So I'll be back Friday. We'll be able to continue our adventures with 3i Atlas. Sounds like it's going to be around for a few months and much to look forward to. I think where it gets significant to a lot of our audiences where you are able to tune in personally, where you're able to have a direct, if it truly has such capacities as to improve all of us, that would be good to know.
Yeah, just be prepared. There's going to be changes in consciousness. What it is an elevation in frequency and also possibly elevations into different dimensions. People are saying it could be an upgrade to the fifth dimension as opposed to the third dimension, three and fourth dimensions that we reside in right now.
Okay.
So does that mean we start focusing on different areas of interest? Get more into the spiritual realms?
It's more in the spiritual realm where you actually have less material qualities about yourself. It's more like how people that have passed over the state that they're in. They can be in the state of the three dimensions that we're in, but they can also reside in a higher dimension where they're in all places at once.
All right. Well, this sounds like a lot to decode. And I think we're going to have some more mystical experiences and share what we're experiencing.
Yeah, I think if you could maybe put on the website, on the Dr. Future Show website, Dr. Michael Sala's video about what people are telling him about 3i Atlas. I think that's the most appropriate thing now.
I had his whole talk decoded by one of the AIs. This is a service from Google. It's called Notebook LM, which gives you a lot of very interesting options to understand how to look at information. And one of them was that we introduced to you a while back was Larry and Mary, right? And I had Larry and Mary focus on 3i Atlas.
And Dr. Stella's video.
Yeah, and Dr. Stella's video. A major theme is the belief that 3i Atlas is releasing ancient codes and frequencies that are interacting powerfully with the sun, causing massive coronal mass ejections and initiating profound changes for humanity by potentially enhancing human DNA and accelerating a global spiritual awakening. It's essentially what Bobby's been saying, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sala also explains that the object's discovery by the Atlas telescope system and its extremely high speed led to its classification as the third confirmed interstellar. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, after Oumuamua and Borisov. And a major theme is the belief that it's releasing ancient codes and frequencies. You're saying that we now have an opportunity to take advantage of the fact that it's releasing ancient codes and frequencies and tune into those codes. And in the process, upgrade our own systems, our own biology.
It's DNA activated.
DNA activation, yeah. Now, why would it want to do that?
What's its mission, according to these sources?
The core mission is described as disseminating frequencies and codes that can allegedly create, destroy, or enhance life. Right now, the focus seems to be on enhancement.
Enhancement of what?
Specifically human potential. This ties directly into some really controversial claims about our own DNA.
I think I know where this might be going. Does this involve ancient astronaut theories? Sumerians, maybe?
Bingo. The sources reference ancient texts, like the Sumerian creation story, the Enuma Elish. These texts, interpreted this way, suggest original humans had a much more advanced genetic structure, like 12-strand DNA.
12 strands as opposed to our current 2. Allowing for what?
Vastly increased cognitive abilities, spiritual connection, maybe even psychic powers. The baseline human blueprint was supposedly far more advanced.
And then something happened. The dumbing down theory.
That's the claim. That the Anunnaki, those beings the Sumerians described as gods coming from the sky, allegedly altered human DNA, reduced it to the 2-strand helix we have now.
Why would they do that?
The theory suggests it was to create a more manageable workforce. A slave race focused on basic survival and labor, less likely to question or access higher abilities.
Okay, so connecting it back, Atlas's role now is to somehow reverse that.
Exactly. The idea is that the frequencies Atlas is carrying, amplified and relayed by the sun, are designed to reactivate that original, dormant, 12-strand genetic blueprint within humanity.
They call this an organic awakening.
Right, implying it's not an artificial injection, but rather our own latent potential being switched back on by these incoming cosmic energies.
And if this activation happens, what are the predicted results? What changes?
The predictions are pretty staggering. We're talking about the emergence or maybe reemergence of psychic abilities on a potentially wide scale.
Like what kind of abilities?
Enhanced telepathy, certainly. Telekinesis, moving things with the mind. Even more advanced things like teleportation or bilocation, being in two places at once.
Wow, that's transformative doesn't even begin to cover it.
Absolutely. And beyond individual powers, the claim is this fuels a broader raising of frequency globally. People starting to see through manipulation, rejecting corruption, resonating more with truth and authenticity.
Which would naturally challenge existing power structures, wouldn't it?
Massively.
If we are a seed planet on the fringe of the Milky Way of a civilization that is billions of years older than our solar system, doesn't it make sense that, every now and then they send out a mission to check on the experiment and maybe give it some new fertilizer?
Yeah.
Maybe we could get some clarity on the motivation behind it.
Sure. Well, just ask.
Yeah.
Ask your fifth dimensional
I
translator.
said, why are you doing this to me?
And it's coming, this information is coming from the center of our galaxy, so it's quite old. They have technology 3 or 4 billion years longer than our technology we have today. That's what's happening.
All right. That's our 3-Eye Atlas update.
There is some more information that came out in the last couple days. Because the Earth is on the opposite side of the sun, and 3-Eye Atlas did all this on the other side of the sun, and we're both going in the same direction, apparently. We could not see this happening. There were some SOHO satellites that could get some information, and recently they just picked up some in the last couple days, and the information is this. The 3-Eye Atlas has changed color. It has changed to a brilliant blue hue. It's putting out a lot more light than it should have. It's actually moved in the direction of 4 arc seconds, which is a lot. For something that's the size of the island of Manhattan, this object it would take, for it to deviate and accelerate 4 arc seconds, it would have to take 9 starships running 24/7 with that kind of thrust of 9 starships thrust 24 hours in 24 constantly. It hasn't stopped. It's still with this thrust. It would have to lose 1/6 of its mass and eject it, and it's not showing to do that. There's something moving this object faster and deviating 4 arc seconds, and they can't explain it. It has to be technology.
It was accelerating.
Yes, this is out of NASA JPL. There was a scientist there that was recording this from one of the SOHO satellites.
All right, folks. From our skeleton setup in Hawaii, contemplate the miracle interstellar object, and we're going to contemplate the folks at Santa Cruz Voice who sponsor our show and our station. Hang tight.
Attention content producers. You can have access to a complete digital media production facility at Satellite Co-working and Digital Media Studio on Soquel Avenue. Easily rent video and audio equipment, a studio with green screen, editing suite, and audio booth, all at can't say no rates. Schedule a tour to see for yourself at satellitecoworking.com. Mention Santa Cruz Voice for 20% off your first reservation.
The wife says the boat's gotta go, no problem. Stored at Anbar Self-Storage in U-Haul, easy off Highway 1 by the airport. 24-hour security for cars, boats, and RVs. Stored away at Anbar Self-Storage in U-Haul and Freedom.
You made the products, now you have to deliver. Anbar Self-Storage and U-Haul has the moving vans, shipping boxes, and packing materials you need to deliver them. Easy off Highway 1 on Airport Boulevard by the airport. Anbar Self-Storage and U-Haul in Freedom.
Get hooked up with affordable cannabis at your neighborhood Hook Outlet dispensary. We have locations in Santa Cruz, Capitola, and Watsonville. At each Hook Outlet, you will find unmatched low prices on the Hook's unparalleled selection of top-quality medical and recreational cannabis flower, vapes, drinks, gummies, and concentrates. The Hook Outlets are Santa Cruz County's best source for the finest cannabis at the lowest prices. See for yourself. Stop by any Hook outlet and say hi. We'll see you there. hookoutlet.com.
With a little help from our friends, Santa Cruz Voice would like to rent or lease an office in Mid-County or thereabouts for our hosts and their VIP guests to conduct interviews. We are looking for 200 square feet, give or take, with secure access, and are willing to share with an existing business that has an extra office to rent. If you know of such a space, please let us know at info@santacruzvoice.com. That's info@santacruzvoice.com. And thank you for being a friend.
All right, there you hear it. Santa Cruz Live. Here we are in an early morning for us. And here comes Al.
Well, that early. I guess it's
ready to pick up where we left off.
Not that early, but it's pretty early. Pretty early. Yeah, I think what's interesting in the links today, we do have a really interesting story on how the quantum chip just broke physics.
Julia McCoy is the AI version of a scientist who's all over breakthroughs in Silicon Valley chips.
Yes, and she actually uses an avatar of herself rather than her real self too, which is kind of interesting. But her point is that this isn't about faster computers. It's about quantum systems going past what they call the Carnot efficiency limit, fundamental to reality itself. Google's chip did perform 1 trillion measurements. They were able to do things like peer inside molecules in ways that were just literally impossible until now. Inside molecules. So the clip that we have on our page is about how Google's Willow chip achieved this, and then it has what's called a 99.97% fidelity. You know, that's a really important because so many errors were prevalent in earlier quantum computer experiments. And there are so many errors with the AIs too. How do we deal with that? The fidelity measure is one of the major focuses of our scientists. And they've got it to 99.97% at Google with the Willow chip. There was a German team that did the breakthrough, and it seems to help. It's making us look at thermodynamics and a deeper understanding of what thermodynamic laws are. And they've been around for a couple hundred years. It's significant in that respect as well. The fact that it's so accurate changes everything because AI itself, fundamental stuff, cryptography, if all of the codes that exist currently in civilization were suddenly unraveled in a few seconds or less, what does that do to civilization? You know, it changes cryptography. So quantum cryptography has been a focus of those involved with security, as it should be. Drug discovery will become easier with this technology, looking at the combinations of different molecules and the effects that they have. Creating new types of materials becomes much more fluid. We designed a material to be fluffy and yet maybe heavy. Still, some combination of materials that we've never seen before. And the gap between classical and quantum capabilities is getting wider and wider. The quantum capabilities at some point will vastly go past us in our capacity to even use a classical computer anymore. We're going to probably reshape human civilization. It's probably going to happen in the next few years. If you're a company or if you're a person, you might look at this transformation and see right now what defines you'll be doing next. Those who are just watching the sidelines, you'll be obsolete. This transition is happening in our lifetime. It could be more important, even the internet and AI.
But does it make life better?
It's up to us.
For people that have crypto, or I think it's time to buy the Treasure quantum-ready cold storage device. So they claim to be quantum ready, so that when quantum supremacy is validated and can crack all the codes, especially the blockchain, the cryptography that's involved with all the crypto, then you might want to, just to let you know, it is capable of being updated to be quantum resistant, but it just hasn't happened just yet. And maybe that's why
October 22nd, 2025.
Bitcoin has dropped to under 100,000 today, possibly.
It dropped?
It's down, yes. It was a flash crash. Yeah. But it's hovering around 100,000 right now, which is very low from the 126 it was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, well, there's so many competing belief systems about the future of money. Bitcoin has quite a following, but it's not the only one.
But has anybody thought about quantum computing beyond the context of encryption?
Well, yeah, you have to have quantum proof encryption. And so Apple, with all their messaging services, they have the third level of quantum proof resistance. And then
Yeah, they're working on that.
Signal was the first one to have quantum proof
No, I'm thinking that,
encryption.
that is important because that is essentially keeping the system safe and secure.
Yes.
But then how does the system change in that safe, secure environment? In other words, how does quantum computing affect everything else that we think and do in the world? Like money itself becomes quantum. What does quantum money look like? It's probably going to be some kind of digital thing, but is it going to stay crypto as we know it today?
I don't know. I'm going the opposite direction. Everything as it gets more complicated, I'm looking for things that are getting simpler. I'm looking for ways of organizing ourselves and our desires and our needs so that efficiency is premium. The whole conversation about quantum this and computers that and AI this, these are all going to enhance people, but it's people who are going to make the future different. I get really thrown by the constant repetition of how obsolete people are because I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I think that this is...
Did I say people were obsolete?
This whole cloud of smoke that is being created by people who like faster computers and...
It's not about fastness. That's just how people think about it.
Well, the big breakthrough in a quantum chip computer is that the computers can think faster because they make fewer mistakes. And the big breakthrough is that because they make fewer mistakes, they can do things faster.
What else can they do?
The problem is that there was so much noise with before the Willow chip that when they did these calculations, the probability of it being accurate was very low. It was way below this 97% that they've got now. And so they were able to take advantage of the noise and reiterate these executions of programs so that they reduced the noise to get it to a 97% accuracy level. You know, we were lucky to get like greater than 50% in the past. And so there was so much noise going on that you couldn't believe what quantum computing was doing. So I think the combination of AI and quantum is going to take us to another level altogether eventually. If we get this DNA upgrade, we won't need any of this because we'll be in a different state altogether.
Well, that's it. It's hard to predict what state we'll be in, but issues like health could be radically affected by this. I mean, ideally radically improved. The whole life-death cycle itself might be unraveled and understood, and something we can have more of a conscious interaction with.
Yeah, and also Google's AI, not their quantum, but their AI, has actually cracked the code to cure cancer. By accident. So, what they figured out is if they used a certain other compound in combination with immunotherapy, that your immune cells could actually uncloak the hidden cancer cells, because that's why your immune system doesn't kill all the cancer cells, because there's a cloaking mechanism that the cancer cells have empowered upon themselves. And so if you use this drug on the sidelines, it will decloak the cancer cells, and then your immune system can recognize it 50% better. So this is the cure for cancer, apparently. Yeah.
I'm thinking that a lot of the sentience that we evolve will imbue itself into other species as well, that the sentience of the planet will have better communication, interspecies contact will radically improve. We'll have more of an understanding of who we share this planet with, for starters. Once we do that, I think that's when the real beyond planet non-human intelligences, non-biological intelligences really take us to another level of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're going to lead us to more resolution of what we understand?
Yeah, I think so. It's like Bobby was saying, that if 3i Atlas is busy seeding the universe and putting in vibrations and energetics and probably even molecules in our solar system as it travels, it's dropping a lot of material constantly, right, wherever it's going. panspermia comes to mind.
Right.
The theory of panspermia, that in action, that this object, this 5 mile across, was it 50-mile long object, is spewing all kinds of stuff into our solar system that may be of benefit to life itself. The idea of panspermia is that that's how life spread in the first place. That it spread from objects just like this, going from solar system to solar system, dropping off stuff and energies. Not just stuff, but energetics. And just to how sentient it is, well, that depends on your belief system. You know, you believe that a rock can have intelligence?
Or a star.
Or a star. Or that our computers come from rocks in silicon?
Well, our computers come from our intention to remember the thoughts that we've had and to organize them in ways that make them more useful to us.
Yeah. So when do we get a view? December 19th, we might actually be able to see the 3i Atlas with our binoculars.
I'm not sure we can see it with binoculars, but definitely the best telescopes on Earth and James Webb satellite and also the Hubble telescope, they will be able to see it as close as a much better image than we've ever had because of the close approach on December 19th.
In terms of space news, Blue Origin has completed a New Glenn test. That's their giant rocket that will be used for NASA's Escapade mission launch. The test at Cape Canaveral came about an hour after what appeared to be a brief ignition, then a shutdown after activating the water-based system. So people were wondering about that. But they fired 7 of their BE-4 engines, an important milestone for the company. This is Jeff Bezos' space operation.
Now, how do you resolve these news flashes about Jeff Bezos and his rocket with Dr. Sala saying his research is that we've been to the moon and they didn't want us there? Like, well, how are we going to compare these reality beliefs?
I know. There's just you hear just about everything. We have the super secret space program, and that it only takes an hour or 2 to get to Mars, and I've heard all these stories too. But what's the proof? Extraordinary claims need extraordinary proof.
Okay.
And I would like to see that.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because we bounce back and forth between this trust that we have direct access to universal consciousness, even though it gives a lot of people a lot of different messages, and they're the only ones who get those messages. But then we also trust the world of the engineers, which is if it's natural law, then everybody can use it. And I'm just pointing out that we're one of these issues that we're straddling right now with our increased access to all of the information and how it all works is the relationship of what we believe to what is true in reality, and how much are we creating it with our beliefs. So I like talking about stuff like that, because otherwise the conversation, it's hard to ground it. It's hard to know, like, which parts of the conversation are we going to hold? Are we going to hold that 3i Atlas is completely understood by the scientists and it's a rocket ship and it's got a propulsion system, and so does Jeff Bezos have a rocket ship with a propulsion system? I mean, are they in the same league or not?
Yeah.
No, they're not in the same league.
Thank you. I didn't think so.
No.
So how do we just leap from one to the next with no segue?
Yeah? Oh, well, it's the next news item. What do you want? We're used to that. We change the channel all the time.
I feel what's happening is we're all going to be telepathic soon. And that way you can't lie. When you can see the intention, you can hear the intention of people, and you can actually grab information instantaneously. You're like a quantum computer or an AI that can go and search all the information out there. Once people are telepathic, people have to be honest. And you cannot hide your intention from other people. And I think there'll be a flood of information. I think that's one of the gifts that 3i Atlas might give us.
If that happens, isn't that tantamount to like replacing the existing currency with another one? Well, telepathy has different rules than written language or spoken language, and one of those different elements is that it's not possible if you lie, right? Yeah. And so not lying would create a different culture.
Yeah.
It would change things on a very fundamental level. Secrets are what national security is based on. National security would shift. What would national security be without secrets?
Yeah, there will be no secrets. That's the thing.
Well, what will they be then? What takes its place?
Well, I'm not sure I agree that there will be no secrets, because I think the reason that secrets exist is because people don't understand the context. And there's all kinds of ways to interpret information when you have partial understanding. And the reason that there is so much confusion in the world is because people understand things in different ways and then don't realize that the misunderstanding they're having is because the way that they're holding the information in their own system, in their own matrix of thoughts. So even if we have more insight into each other and if we can communicate telepathically, we still have a lot of work to do to have a mutual understanding of things.
Yeah, I think if you listen to this series called the Telepathy Tapes, you realize that these children that are non-audible, in other words, they can't speak, gather in a plane where they all meet together, and they cannot lie to each other, and they are omniscient at the same time.
Okay, so do you think that that's the only kind of person or the only kind of consciousness that's going to be in human form, that is going to be beings that are naturally telepathic and aren't using any other means to communicate?
Yeah, you don't need your cell phone. I think in the interim, we will use cell phones, but in the long run, you can put them in the trash can.
Well, there goes another industry, more jobs down the tubes.
Well, it's all the timing, you know. We got 3 to 5 years before all of this really starts becoming more of the national conversation. Relax.
Right.
Good time. Enjoy it now, though. It's like Avi Loeb said, hope you're on your vacation now.
Yeah.
Well, when we're in transition, I like to think of the analogy of the tsunami. We're just getting this giant, forceful wave that is unavoidable, and it's going to wash over everything. And there's going to be a lot of confusion as everything gets ripped out of its previous comfort zone and thrown into a new big jumble. And then we're going to emerge from that, taking the most valuable things with us into a new creation of a new stability.
Yeah, it's a process that it's hard to predict because you've got to come from a context that probably is not necessarily valid as to where you're going.
Well, you have to realize that we've been a culture that plans and executes. And it's going to be a time for a while where planning is very difficult because the data is shifting. The things that you use to organize your expectations are changing. The things you have to take care of are not the same as the things you used to have to take care of. And there's no pointers. It comes down to what natural wisdom is appropriate in the moment. And sometimes you're not going to find that in an AI. You're not going to find that in a rocket. You're going to find that in the conversation that you're participating with.
Yeah, I think if you're freed up to really hang out with people where you can have conversations like that, that's the future. Meanwhile, our AIs and our superintelligences will deal with other problems. Like there's a very interesting article this week on how stem cell researchers have discovered 2 cells that could lead to regenerating your teeth and your bone.
Oh, we're all interested in that.
Yeah, teeth and bones. So let's get down to pragmatics here.
Well, as long as they don't put them in the wrong place.
Yeah, well, there's that. Tooth loss and bone decay. Who hasn't experienced that?
Yeah. Well, we're all long in the tooth people. What's the big breakthrough?
10 million Americans over 50 have been diagnosed with osteoporosis and low bone densities. And they always want you to get a bone density test when you're over 50. Astronauts experience shocking levels because in zero gravity it's even worse. Stem cells, you've heard about Tony Robbins. He's talking about stem cells all the time now, Tony Robbins. It's not just him, but it is a miracle area where more and more breakthroughs are happening all the time. Sure. And this is one of the areas where us humans really care about, our teeth. One of the things that he found was that we thought that using your own stem cells would be a great idea, so that you don't have any rejection issues. But the problem is, as you get older, your own stem cells are not as pluripotent. They're not as...
They have glitches.
Yeah. But we found that you can use very early stem cells from like a placenta or from the neonatal cord that is usually thrown away.
Right. That
After
seems
birth.
to be what's popular now is keep the baby, turn the placenta into stem cells.
Yeah, and use those placental stem cells, and they are much more energetic and capable of being molded into what you need. Mm-hmm. So that's the takeaway that I get with this, and that we're focusing on big things like teeth and bone because that's where we fall, we break bones, we have these issues, and we don't like that. Mm-hmm. How do we reverse that?
Yeah, well, the skeleton does guard our cellular nurseries, right? The bone marrow is where new blood cells come from.
And what they found is that the specific group of genes known as the FOX genes fit into this regenerative process that we're talking about. And these genes have a lot to do with facial and skeletal development. The FOXF1 gene particularly becomes overactive when the hedgehog pathway is switched on. The hedgehog pathway. Mm-hmm. So you dial back this FOXF1 activity and you're able to restore normal bone growth and patterns. So FOXF1 acts as a kind of a key middleman in controlling how stem cells turn into bone-forming cells.
Huh. So do you think that this cell has something to do with the reason our teeth stop growing or why they get regenerated after we're children?
They're investigating that. They don't know the details of that, but it looks like it could be. It looks like the future will be bright for those suffering from bone loss, thanks to this research identifying these specific group of genes, the FOX genes, Foxy genes. That's what you want.
FOX genes give you good skeletons.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you talk about
all right, we're going to be back after this break and more Future Now.
You may actually meet some people here next.
All right, stay tuned.
All right.
And we're back.
Yes, we are back indeed.
Yes.
Yes, we are talking to you from Haiku, Maui. Haiku, Maui, which is a beautiful jungle part of the island. There's a lot of water and rain and beautiful flora and fauna here.
And obviously a lot of mist and fog. You might notice it's coming through in our broadcast.
Yeah. And we want to introduce you to a new friend we've met who has been working with our friend Paul Gotel, who will be on a little bit later. We want you to meet a woman who travels. She's been traveling throughout the world in documenting her travels. She's a woman after her own heart with a 360 camera and a Meta AI glasses.
Yeah, it's not every day we meet someone who has such a passion for capturing the beauty of her adventure. We definitely felt like a kindred spirit.
Anais, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for welcoming me here.
Yeah.
And I've found this beautiful common point that we have to document everything we do. Mm-hmm. So I do have these cameras with me. I still haven't taken time to edit everything as a pro.
But you're capturing it. That's the thing.
Yes, well, what we've learned over the years is that editing is less important than living the life. Because you can't make up the moment. You can't plan ahead. It's not scripted. There's emotion, there's an energy that fills you. And if you notice it, you pull out your camera and then you have a memory.
That's true. That's beautiful. I would rather spend my time having fun, enjoying the moments we are having, and the editing part can be done later.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have the videos. I could edit them when I don't have anything to do, or someone could edit them maybe later. Who knows?
Well, I envy you in starting with such portable technology. When I first started playing this, these big cameras you had to carry around and interfered with the connection between people.
That's true. That's really different. But you did have the Google glasses, right?
I did. That was 10 years ago. Yeah, but it's still, people called me names. You know, like glass hole. Things like that. Yeah.
When he had Google Glass.
Yeah, no, well, you're so.
Nobody told me that yet.
No, people. Well, tell me about one of your experiences with like the Meta AI glasses. What do you feel like you may have captured there that you think is worthwhile?
Well, it's super new for me because I received it like maybe 1 week ago.
Really, a week? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
like
Huh?
or 1
So you're
week
just
or 2 weeks.
experimenting, huh?
Oh,
I'm
you
just
only had
experimenting.
them 1 week.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
We've seen some of the videos you've shot with them, and I thought you were a pro.
No,
They're
it's
great.
really new. This is the thing. It's kind of easy to use because you just basically put the glasses on and you just document everything you see. So you don't have to do anything. That's the good part of it. I wish we could choose different formats, horizontal, vertical.
Oh, so you
format,
could
yeah.
have
Yeah.
one for different social media platforms.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that'll be the upgrades.
Yeah, exactly. But we did shoot beautiful videos when we were having fun yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's super easy to use.
It's always good on the beach. Found us a good location
Oh,
for it.
yes. Yeah, on the beach, on the waterfalls. Like, this is a beautiful tool to have, and you can listen to music without people to know you're listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
really a good
right. So they don't
feature.
see any earphones in your ears. You're just wearing this pair of glasses, and you can listen to whatever you like, huh?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we're talking also about the live translation or like different AI stuff.
Oh, that's right. Live translation. That's
Yes.
we're looking forward to trying that.
Yeah.
Oh, how does that work for you? When have you been using live translation?
It just started, right?
Well, I haven't.
Yeah,
No,
it's brand new.
okay,
1 week,
you know
right?
about it, but you haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, just a little background. Now, you speak multiple languages?
Yeah, I do speak very well Spanish, and I do speak English, obviously. Not my best language.
Your
but
native tongue being
I
French,
can-
huh?
Yeah, I'm French.
And you're from...
I'm French. I'm from Paris.
Oh, right.
I'm a Parisian woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I
Parisian
guess I
women
don't
touring the
use-
world.
That's right. 95, right? That's the big year you came into this planet. So you're a millennial. is what
Yeah,
we would say,
I'm not. I'm generation. Wait, no, I'm millennial. Yeah, you're right.
Just barely, right?
Yes.
Young end of the...
The other day, my friend told me about zillennials, like the transition between millennials and Generation Z.
Mm-hmm. Right, Zillennials. So you're a Zillennial.
I'm a zillennial.
On
I
the
guess.
cusp.
I guess.
That's good.
A zillennial who loves to travel to discover the world and the beauty every place has to offer. What I really love is like discovering different cultures. I feel like it's really interesting to see how people live, really different in some countries, in others. The way of being, of expressing itself. Like I can really feel the difference between here and Mexico, where I was living just before. So that's super interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very different from living in Paris.
Yeah,
for
exactly,
sure, huh?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, in France we do have differences between Paris and the rest of France, but obviously there is a French culture that is everywhere. I guess it's a bit like America, like you do have a lot of states here in America, and every state is different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can see the California vibe, for example, in people like you.
Is it that obvious?
Yes, a bit. But I love Californian people. I guess those are my favorites.
I think in California, everything feels like it might be a good movie.
Yeah. Have you been to California yet?
I've been just to San Francisco, but really just 1 week. I haven't had time to really experiment it.
You're welcome to stay here at our place in San Francisco.
Thank you.
Ka-
That's super
yeah.
San
nice.
Francisco, yeah.
Katya is a French. Yeah, I'm in San Francisco, and my partner Katya, she was a French teacher in a high school for 30 years. So, and we have friends in
Right at
Paris
home.
also.
You have people speaking your
Oh,
language.
wow. So yeah, so I can speak French
That's right.
with her.
Yeah.
French, English, anything you like.
Yeah.
Can speak
Some
in
of the
English.
world is open to you now, right? This is a point where you could be anywhere you want.
Exactly.
And you're here in Maui. Now, why Maui? What's brought you here?
Well, that's interesting because I didn't really choose it. Well, I trust synchronicities, and I really listen to the signs the universe are sending to me.
Oh, your cues from the universe.
Yes, the cues. And I was seeing that Maui everywhere. I was seeing Maui, like on the TV and on brands, on T-shirts, on a van, like on Instagram, and like everywhere. And I was like, what is that? What is Maui? Why am I seeing that word everywhere?
Yeah.
So I googled it. I was like, okay, what is Maui? And I was like, okay, Maui is an island in Hawaii. I was like, okay, interesting. I was in a transition in my life where I didn't have a home anymore. I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to stay in Mexico anymore. And my friend told me, well, just go to live in Maui. Obviously, you have to go there because you're seeing it everywhere.
So Maui, may we.
Yeah, Maui, obviously. And what's funny is you were talking about Paul. Well, I went to an event called the Mind Valley event in Amsterdam this summer. And he wrote on the WhatsApp group, hello, my name is Paul. I live in Maui, Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
So I was
Another
like,
synchronicity.
okay. Yeah. I was like, okay, I guess I have to know that man. And from there, we began to be really friends, to hang out together. Every day we were seeing each other. Oh, do you want to go to eat something? And yeah, we ended up connecting.
And becoming good friends. Actually, you came to Maui in a collaborative relationship. So you're going to help him solve some of his business issues here, and it's a win-win for you.
Exactly. Exactly. We
That's
were
great.
kind of looking at the same thing. I feel like he needed someone kind of like me to help him, and I needed someone like him to go through all these collaborations we're doing. So that will be interesting to follow and to see.
Yeah, for sure.
How long has it been now? How long have you been here?
1 month now. Tomorrow will be 1 month, I think. Oh no, 2 days, 1 month.
Wow.
I'm celebrating my first month in Maui today.
Oh, well, I didn't realize you seemed so comfortable here. I thought you knew everything. I thought you'd been here a long time.
What have you found on Maui that's really got your attention? The water or the?
I guess the jungle. I'm really sensitive to nature. I really love to live in the middle of nowhere. So I guess all the jungle, the beaches. Obviously, the water is much less transparent than Mexico. I cannot wait to see the whales here.
They're coming, yeah.
They're coming
in December. There should be lots of whales.
Yes, and this will be a magical experience.
Yeah.
Like here already seeing all the turtles, like seeing the turtles that go like and sleep in the beach is really for me something incredible, because I always see them in underwater. I'm a diver, scuba diver, so I always see turtles underwater. So this is not a surprise to me, but I had never seen them on the beach. So that is something incredible here in Maui.
Oh yeah, like discovering their home, right? Discovering.
Yeah, when I go to sleep there. I guess one turtles I have in Mexico are like sleeping underwater, and here they're just sleeping on the beach. So that's super beautiful to see. Yeah, I recommend to everyone to have that experience of seeing that.
Yeah, the turtles here are just amazing. Just in the time we've been here, we've seen 2 giant tortoises. One of them was on the beach, taking a little nap in the morning when we happened to be walking by. It was quite amazing.
Yeah.
And the other one has been rescued, apparently from after the Maui fires. Maybe it was injured or something, but they now have it in a garden, and it's more of a land tortoise, but it's giant. Is here in the Maui gardens.
Now I got to ask you just on a slightly different topic. As someone that's tech savvy and nature savvy, tuned into nature, what do you think about the future? How do you see it? Is it something to look forward to, or is it something that's here now?
I really look forward to. I think there is something really big coming in terms of spirituality.
Yeah.
We are really more open than before about all of those topics and about connecting ourselves to something bigger than us. So I feel like there is a kind of a double standard here. There is like the part of people taking all those subjects and making it business without really knowing what they are talking about. So that kind of consumerism of false spirituality that is really something big right now. And there is still all those persons that really want to help the planet, really want to raise the vibration and help the future. And this is a big part of it. And I feel like this will help with a lot of subjects, ecological related and about all of those things. So I'm pretty confident about the future.
You think we're not going to destroy ourselves? We're going to keep evolving and...
Yes, I feel it will have a really separation, a big
Between those
separation
who-
between those two groups,
Yeah.
where it will be whether you go super down, super bad, and whether you're in
Like a splitting of the universe in a way, right?
Yes,
So,
I do feel that.
Huh.
I
Yeah.
feel like it will be a splitting of the universe.
Hmm.
And I feel like big things will happen, political, environmental, because this is kind of a output of the spiritual energy that is here.
Hmm.
So a big splitting of the universe.
what about your identity? Do you identify as being French, or do you see yourself as more of a global citizen these days? Or
I do see myself
Yeah.
as a global citizen. Well, I'm born in France and I'm happy to have my roots there and I'm happy with what I learned in France. But I feel more global, and this is what defines my past but not defines my present. Yeah, I feel like this is just a life experience I've had as I went also living in Australia, I went also living in Mexico. But this cannot really define me and my future, because I feel like I'm just getting attracted to what resonates with me.
yeah, you're exploring the world, seeing what's out there.
Exactly. And I will probably not end up in France. Like,
Yeah, that much has become clear. Huh?
yes, it's becoming clearer and clearer.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Are you being drawn to other places as well? that you
I
see?
don't know. Yeah, a lot of places. I want to discover a lot of places. I'm more as a slow traveler than a quick consumer. I love to really go in a place and really set me up there, see what this place can teach me, exploring the culture, how the people think. And I think this is a beautiful gift when you can stay to a place and don't feel like a tourist and really be living there.
Yeah,
At the opposite
immerse
of-
yourself in the culture.
Yeah, because when I see people like saying like, oh, I traveled to 100 countries, and they just say 2 days in each country, you've been there, but you haven't really gone deep.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
don't know the culture, you don't know how people think, you don't connect with them at a deeper level. So
Yeah, yeah. How about here in Hawaii? Do you have any pull towards understanding the indigenous culture here?
I haven't yet found this indigenous culture. Yeah, I feel like I'm just landing. Like
Oh, still just getting it,
yes. Yeah, I haven't been drawn so much about all the social interactions here. I'm more like, for example, for now, setting up in what I want to do my projects and what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I would love to discover the culture, the indigenous culture, but I feel like it's much less present than in Mexico, for example. Like, I've been told that a lot of Hawaiian are, well, Hawaiian for a few generations, but not for millennials here.
Not for as long as on the mainland, I guess they say. Yeah.
I would love to, to get
connect.
to...
Why you're open to experiences, yeah.
Yeah.
So what? So I'm kind of curious. What's your vision of using these tools that you have? Do you see yourself regular videos or Instagram, or what's your favorite social media?
Well, my favorite is Instagram. I guess I will be sharing them in Instagram. I would love to share about my lifestyle, my life, my discoveries, and also about people
That you meet?
I meet. Because I feel like I'm quite an adaptive person. I can talk with really like person that are working as a captain on a boat, or with entrepreneurs that do millions of dollars. So I feel like sometimes there are type of people that don't connect the one with another, when they could really learn from each other a lot. And I would love to talk with those different kinds of people to really connect with the human besides all the
To
levels.
really get down to the level where it's human to human. talking.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this is so much important, and this is something we miss so much in the everyday society. It's like we see a lot of, oh, he is that. Yeah, but besides the label, like, what is he feeling? What does he think about life in general? A lot of things we don't get to see in people because we just stay to the superficial level. So yeah, connecting with people like soul to soul and just as a human, without knowing where they work, without knowing what they do.
The job or anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would love to share that. Yeah, I think it will be on Instagram, and I'm working on a travel brand I want to get out in the world. So we'll share
your version of
this
travel is
library.
where people you're meeting on the trip.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I can tell you guys, this beautiful woman is a fantastic experiencer of the amazing world, and she captures it wonderfully. So I told her when we were inviting her on the show that I would introduce her as an influencer, just because she's had such an influence on me. And I know that when she shares the beautiful videos she's creating, it's going to be really wonderful.
Oh, thank you very much.
Do you have anything up online now that people could look at?
Well, not yet. Well, I have my personal account, Anais Peeiro, in Instagram, which is not, like, I haven't shared yet kind of anything, just my personal pictures,
ready.
but I will get to that. And otherwise, the one I'm creating is named Healy Days. It's HEALIDA.
Wow, that's great. I love it.
Like heal,
yeah,
like healing
adventure
Healy
days,
like
Healy days. That's fantastic.
Yeah, this is where I will share everything and all travels. And
oh boy, see, we didn't even get into that dimension of how healing it is to be in these beautiful places.
Yeah, and I feel like we can heal through life experiences and not, like, I feel like all the personal development now have become really way too psychological and too theoretical. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. But I feel like some people are more spiritual when they don't even know about spirituality because they just live. Like, the point of spirituality is just uncovering your essence and your alignment. So it's like some people want to be too spiritual and they just end up being in a cage, when some people don't even want to look at it. And there's the most spiritual person and the most developed person because they just have fun. They just enjoy life and everything is aligning for them because they are themselves.
Oh yeah, authenticity as a spiritual path, huh?
Exactly. So for me, spirituality can go through dance, spirituality can go through travel, spirituality can go through learning from each other, more than reading every book, more than, like, obviously this is important, to read. I don't say it's not, and I'm the first one to read a lot, to study a lot, but we don't have to forget the living the present and living our experience.
Yeah.
So this is what I want to
help people learn.
I do sense that you have some ability to break people out of their own prisons.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's funny because this is kind of, you're not the first one who tells me that those last days. So.
Yeah, they realize more what to be free is, because you live it yourself. Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Well, freedom is my first core value, so I'm really happy that you told me that.
Nice.
It's
all right. Well, I think you should very clearly again share with people because we're going to go to a break.
Yeah, we're going to bring in Paul.
But if people do want to follow you, where should they look?
On Instagram, the Healy Days account, and Anais Peeiro, so ANAISPEEIRO. Which is my personal account where I will also share about our daily experiences.
Nice. Thank you so much, Anais. It's really been wonderful.
And I think maybe if we can keep you on for a little bit just for the beginning where we can find out how Paul met such a delightful creature.
Perfect. Works for me.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. We're going to go to a little break now, and then we'll be right back on Maui Time. So hang tight. The future is now.
Cannabis is one of nature's most beneficial plants, and at Treehouse Dispensary, we use it to build community. In addition to dispensing cannabis and education, Treehouse hosts First Friday events every month that feature our community's local artists, makers, and activists. If you're 21 plus, join us at 3651 Soquel Drive every First Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. to enjoy the work of local artists and musicians, find one-of-a-kind gifts, and learn more about the top cannabis products in California. See you soon!
It's time now to repair or replace your roof. Hi, folks. Warren Knox here of Knox Roofing. Well, we install leak-proof and fireproof roofs. Roofs that look nice with a lot of choices of colors and styles. Gutters, skylights, insulation, and roof decks. We only install proven products with warranties unmatched by anybody. Financing is always available, and we have discounts for veterans and seniors. Do business with Knox Roofing, and you'll also receive a free Knox Garden Box. The number to call again is 831-461-0634. Thanks, folks.
Want to learn more about what it takes to succeed as a business or nonprofit? Then hear from those that have. Join Tam and Susan O'Connor-Fraser on Think Local First Radio, Fridays at 1 p.m. on Santa Cruz Voice.
From sommeliers to comedians, Tai Chi master to happy centenarian, on Go Ahead and Tell Me, we meet the people who turn passion into purpose. Every voice, every craft, one conversation at a time. 1 p.m. Thursdays, SantaCruzVoice.com.
11/11 is Thank a Veteran Day. You can thank your local veterans by visiting VFW Post 7263's Veterans Day Open House from 3 to 7 at 2259 7th Avenue in Santa Cruz. Meet and greet the veterans. Enjoy food, drinks, live music from the Joe Bland Band, and have a look around the VFW Hall. We do owe them a thanks, so drop by the VFW Hall on 7th Avenue during Veterans Day and thank a vet.
And that was lovely to hear. Some of our compatriots back in Santa Cruz while we tootle around here in our studio in Paul's kitchen.
Yeah. Unable to get Paul for a few minutes here.
That's
here
right.
He is.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Afternoon in Santa Cruz. I've just arrived and there's an interesting setup, so that wasn't too loud.
Yes, we did all this while he was sleeping.
And Paul, just for those who don't know, Paul's one of our dearest friends. We've known him for over 25 years now.
Yeah.
25 years, quarter of a century.
I bet a lot of you guys listening know Paul. You may even remember back in the days when we were covering things like Who Really Knows?
Yeah, some of the original crop circle stuff we explored.
Yes, Paul is one of our favorite travel buddies, and now that I realize probably the love of the mysteries on this planet and the desire to travel and experience them directly has definitely brought all of us together.
Yeah, and we thought it was really delightful that you brought in Anais, who has been a travel person too. Kind of reminds me of you at her age when you were exploring the mysteries of this planet back at the turn of the century. Yeah, you're a regular Indiana Jones.
These guys are making me feel very young right now.
I know, don't we have a special? We really got a good touch, don't you? Yeah.
If any of you are old enough to remember.
Remember the pyramids? That's where we were.
So it is our captain's log. We have been ourselves doing this for a very long time. Yeah.
So for the uninitiated, could you tell us how you and Anais met and how this transpired? She was telling us there were synchronicities involved.
Yes. Basically, I go to this event called Mind Valley U, which is Mind Valley University, but they changed it to Mind Valley U. And essentially, it's a gathering of people from all over the world who, within one context, are aspirational in being inspirational. That's how I describe it. In other words, they have an internal aspiration that they want to inspire other people, and they get drawn to Mind Valley and they come together. And it's one of those events where the event itself is good and has all these things that you expect at an event, but the actual community, because the flavor is of such people that are really willing to do the work to be able to go through their own evolution so that they can actually be of service. That's what's drawn me back there for 6 years now. And I've had the pleasure to speak on stage there and to put on a number of events there. Yes, it was just one evening. I'm traveling home very late at night, and my friends bring along Anais. And say, oh, hello, and then the conversation starts, and she finds out that I'm from Maui, and I think she shared with you that she had all these synchronicities about Maui. So it was whether you use the word meant to be, fate, karma, destiny, whatever you want to say. But I had previously, before I left, I had decided when my children have just left home, my son is at college, and my daughter's with her mum full time now. So I have 2 rooms, and I was like, I'm going to use these rooms to get support so that I can actually action some of my larger plans that have kind of been waiting in the wings whilst I have been focusing on being a father.
Yes.
And so there is a big life, I'm going through a big life transition. I don't know whether your readers know about something called Saturn Return. Mm-hmm. And so the planets, if you're into astrology in any way, or even if you're not into it, it affects you, because even if you just believe that you're molecules of water, planets moving, big bodies affect molecules of water. So whether we like it or not, the astrology definitely has an effect on us. We've all seen the effects of full moons, new moons, etc., stuff like this. So over your life, Saturn Return is when Saturn goes through, and it's I think it's approximately somewhere between 26 and 28 years that it goes through your life pattern. And when it happens the first time, like my first time is actually when I met you guys, but it's essentially the first time is when I was just in my early 30s, and I got divorced, sold my company, and went off around the world for 7 years. So that was the first effect of the Saturn Return. So I'm in my second, and the second is much more reflective. I'm 59, I'm going to be 60 next year, and it's much more reflective. It really is looking at everything that you've done in your life. And it's interesting because it's a different phase in the sense that it's not so much a phase of what am I going to do in my life, but more what have I done, what have I learned, what's the wisdom that's unique to each of us, because each of us has lived a path, walked a path that nobody else could replicate. And each of us, whether we know it or not, has wisdom in our life experiences that at this stage of your life, in other words, after the second Saturn Return, you can actually basically be of service to those that are coming after you. It's not in a sense of they have to follow you or they have to agree or any of those things, but you simply have an opportunity to live and talk and walk that wisdom, and those that you interact with can either, can sample that and utilize it or not utilize it. And this is definitely the direction of my life right now. And I'm currently in that reflection phase. I'll be coming at my second return in March. And so I always knew that after my summers traveling and speaking and doing these things, that I was going to come back to Maui and kind of do an assessment, a life assessment. So I'm really just starting that. Yeah. I'm just at the start of that. And so one of the supports of that was to call somebody in that could help me distance myself from my day-to-day, which is the support that Anais is going to initially do anyway, such that I can then engage with a few new books and a workshop that I've been working on for many years, but now actually want to support people through this transformation with the work I do around self-revolution.
That's right. You have a regular piece you do on Instagram along those lines, right?
Yeah, yes. I think we're up to 1,900 little videos right
1,900?
Transmissions. Let's call them transmissions.
Yeah, I think it's about 6 years now. I have to be honest, there was a stage where I was avidly, like it has to be every day, and this sort of internal pressure. Right now I've given myself this space that it just when it moves me, it moves me. So this morning it moved me, and I'll be posting, so it's more 1 or 2 a week now.
Where do we want to go if we want to look at that?
Well, that would be Instagram, just is it at Paul Gotel?
At Paul Gotel on Instagram.
Yeah, so you just search up Paul Gotel on Instagram. There's many
of your transmissions.
They're mostly 2 minutes, and they'll be accompanied with a little haiku and then an explanation, like a written explanation, exactly what I'm talking about. But the principle is that I was able to, through my own life experience, assess that there was an operating system that we all operate on. So language, thinking, social constructs, law, all these things boil down to our operating system. And the situation is that we as humans thought the operating system was something, and then that's been evolving over the last few thousand years with different philosophers and religions and mythologies and science. And as we grow, we adjust that operating system. But the thing about the operating system, I call it OS2, is that it's very much based in this concept of reward and punishment, carrot and stick. So what that means is that you do something you don't want to do if you're going to get a reward, or you don't do something you want to do if you're going to get punished. And so it's the antithesis of authenticity. And so what I recognized is that the reason we all think this is the way things operate is because we're all looking from our own perspective. And so your own perspective is this small self, as I call it in my book, the big you. They talk about the small you. So the small you is a limited perspective. It's limited not as in a negative term, but simply in the same way as you put a lens on a camera. And if you put a lens on a camera, your camera then specifically, say, becomes like a zoom-in lens, and you can photograph an insect or something. But what's at the cost? At the cost of all the trees and everything else around it. So when you specialize in your perception, then you limit the perception, and then what you see and what you would describe would be correct from that limitation, but wouldn't actually be correct in the grander scheme, which is the concept of the big U, which in other words, when you rise above everything,
the larger context of
the larger context. Yeah. So we're all, each of us are a limited lens for existence, consciousness, source, God, whatever you want to use the term, to assess and specialize in a perception from a perspective of a limited identity.
You think we're all feeding a larger system?
Yes. Yes, so all of that experiential wisdom is fed to the all, because there's only one consciousness, and then it's squeezing itself. So there's one consciousness looking through all the cameras, and each of us are individual like lenses that limit the context so that we have a very singular view, each of us, and that gives an opportunity to see something that all the other singular views don't see. Right. So the system is meant to work like that, and it does work like that. The issue is that when you get limited in that context, in other words, when you hold yourself to be that limited perspective, system, right? You forget, and so therefore you then try to make assessments and theories from a limited perspective. So this is the context that we've all been working on.
That creates pain and suffering?
Exactly. So this is the context we've all been working on as humans, like from the start of humans. Yeah. And because of my experience with death, I basically died twice. I had 2 near-death experiences. I was able to have it's sort of almost contrary, but there's the body, and then there's the identity, and then there was a presence witnessing the identity in the body, and recognizing that the not only was the body, which a lot of us are kind of familiar with that, the idea that we're not our body. We say it's my body. Right. So who is it that owns who's attacked? But my identity, my personality, we still use that phrase. But we don't really think like that. We think we are the identity, but we're actually the witnessing, observing presence of it. And it's a collective of samskaras, or if you go back to the computer analogy, it's a collective of programs running, most of them actually at odds. So it's a bit like a startup folder of a computer. You open your computer and your computer's whirring, and you go, when's it going to open? And it's whirring away because it's loading all these different things that you told it to load before you could start. That's your identity. So when you wake up in the morning, a lot of people go, I need my coffee or whatever, you're loading up this. But the thing is, we installed, just like a lot of computers, we've installed these little startup programs since we were kids. And a lot of us are still running, most of us, programs from that mindset of survival. So as a little child, we're born, we are, I say hardwired, but it's not really hardwired, but the system is set up for that. As humans, we gestate 9 months in the womb, but then we grow for another so many years outside the womb. Yeah. So in other words, we don't come out fully formed, able to, like a deer or something, could get up and literally run from a fox or a wolf.
Yeah, it's the interactive with the environment that creates our experience, that with whatever innate intelligence we have.
Yeah, so a lot of creatures are born able to, and they function. Yeah. We are born and we are like a receptive, a sponge, but we're also driven to survive, and so that drive to survive slowly overpowers the drive for authentic expression. So basically what we do is we'll pay with our authenticity to get approval, and that approval is what we are looking for to ensure our survival. And now the thing is that continues into a hard wiring, becomes our operating system. We then operate as adults, still running that when it's no longer necessary. Yeah. And so then we create a whole society and science and all these things based on an ideology of good and bad, which is based around loss and gain. If I got something, if I got fed, if I got warmth or whatever, it was a good thing. If I didn't get fed, it was a bad thing. And so that's the survival mechanism. We then take it into adulthood where it's not, for most of us, about that. Now, of course, there are the extremes where people are still living in survival mode, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
But most of us in society, we're running that. So instead of being authentic, instead of expressing that which is true for us in each moment, what we're doing is here comes our authentic expression, here comes like what I call a border control, your identity, your ego, and it says, hang on, this might cost you something, this expression, or if you change it, it might gain you something. And so therefore what you gain is something that matches the adjustment. So every time you adjust yourself to gain something, the thing you gain matches the adjustment, which is not who you are. So now you're trapped, you've now actually gained something that pollutes your authentic self, and you have to retain being the full self that gained it in order to retain it. Bit like a relationship, or even a business relationship, over time you start feeling, this isn't working for me anymore, because you are a fluidity. You're not an identity, it's something that constantly changes. So when you try to retain the identity, to retain let's say the reward you got for the identity, it becomes less and less palatable. And then what you do is you start creating reasons like guilt, resentment, that eventually have you leave a relationship or leave a job or leave a home or break up with your family member in some way, because you all had already moved into this agreement where you subjugated your original
Yeah, and
self.
most of these agreements are unconscious.
Exactly.
Them, right?
They're secret agreements.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, and we get resentful and annoyed at others for breaking them when there wasn't even a discussion in the first place.
Yeah.
So basically, gain actually becomes a pollution, and actually loss in that context is actually a purification. So when you lose something that you think has value, but is actually creating a structure that entraps you in being something that you presented yourself to be that no longer feels good for you, that actually is actually a purification. It's a relief. That's why generally after maybe the initial upset of losing a job or a situation, there is a relief. There's a sort of, thank goodness I don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And
I thought you were stuck in it.
Yeah, there's confusion and everything.
Yeah.
You know, and of course there's suffering in that confusion because you're so programmed that way.
Right. So in your case, it's the end of a chapter. Your kids are raised. They're out of the home. Time for them. What's next? And it's a totally different mindset than it was to deal with them while they were here.
Yeah, I adopted. I mean, I definitely. Apologies to any parents listening. I definitely adopted a martyr context.
You were serving them rather than yourself in some
Yeah,
sense.
and of course there were all the beautiful moments of giving.
Yeah.
To love
Yeah.
unconditionally, which to me, love is the absence of conditions, right?
Yeah.
So this context is that if there is a condition, it's not love. It's an agreement. You can have an agreement. You can work out a trade. That's fine. But in love and with your children, you love them unconditionally. Now, on top of that, you might paint some conditions which are more about you as a parent and less about them. I want them to this, and this is more about how will that reflect on me, So that's one of the interesting things about it. But essentially, I definitely was dealing with my own childhood within the context of being a parent, and I was holding myself to a bar that was unreasonable in the context of my own authenticity. And so now that I've moved from that day-to-day parenting, I can kind of take a step back from that, assess that, and also utilize that and help others to actually understand that even in the service of quote unquote another, a child or whatever, that we're so used to assessing that an exterior result is better than an authentic expression.
Yeah.
That if the ends justify the means is the context, and we do it to ourselves constantly. And that is the cause of our own suffering. The cause of our own suffering ultimately is us trying to survive the moment. And when we try and survive the moment, we can't thrive in the moment.
Yeah.
And to thrive in the moment, you have to remove the shackles of this trying to seek reward or hold on to something you've gained. And you move more into this context where you have open hand. So what comes, let come. What stays, let stay. What goes, let go. And you willingly invite, you willingly engage, but you're not attached to a result because your attachment would be less than the possibility of what could arrive. The unexpected is unlimited, I like to say. So when you're really looking for life to support you in your greatest expression, you have to be willing to be comfortable with the unexpected, with the unknown, because that's where the unlimited can fuel your dreams.
And that's where most fear lies. Right?
Yes.
So looking at the fear of the unknown in your own soul is the key then.
Exactly. And so limitation is safety. Limitation, security, safety, privacy, protection. I call them the four evils. The reason I call them the evils because they are antithesis to truth. If you, to stay secure, safe, private, or protected, if that goes against your authentic expression, you will subjugate your authentic expression to stay secure, safe, private, and protected. So you survive, but you no longer thrive. Right. Because to thrive in that context is to allow yourself to constantly be reborn, which means you actually have to be comfortable with constantly dying.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's physiologically it's the nature of existence. Our body has to die. Our cells are dying every day.
That's true. Yeah.
When you create this necessity or this programming to not die, if our body doesn't die, if our cells don't die, we die. In other words, it actually ceases to function. Cancer cells are cells that have refused to die, and they have to be, quote unquote, poisoned and killed. And yet, the natural state of us is to constantly die, and that way our soul gets to constantly evolve in this form. This form wasn't supposed to be a restriction, it was supposed to be an opportunity for evolution.
So do you have a different understanding of evolution now, of the aging process? Is it something that we have some control over that we didn't have before because we are aware that we can, if we surrender our old programs of survival and go into thrival, that our body might as well continue with that because that's what we want anyway?
The context of attachment to anything is a limitation. So it's like the idea of I want this form to survive
is an attachment.
The idea that I'm engaged in such an expression and this form, I am not attached to the survival of this form, so this form has become a conduit for the expression of that magnificence that wants to come through me. That's a different relationship to the extension of life, as opposed to I simply want to live because I don't know what's going to happen next, or I want to survive because of my fear. So it's all about the intention and the understanding that everything here is at service to your own evolution as an aspect, a witnessing aspect of the all that is. And when you serve that, you will survive. And when you don't serve that, doesn't matter how much longevity, physiological things you add to yourself, you could still walk out and choke on a peanut or get run over or whatever, a random event could. In other words, if you are not serving the big you, if you've become attached to the small you, then you are no longer in a successful relationship with this opportunity called life. And therefore there will be a reboot to offer you a chance to start again. And you have unlimited chances. So, but if you want to continue on, if that's an interesting opportunity, then continue on without attachment to the identity surviving each moment.
That can be
as a fluidity.
Yeah. Okay,
and so my next book is going to be called Fluidity, the Art of Deconstruction. How do you live in that way? Which is what's going on for me right now. So I'm really getting, I'm getting experience on that right now.
I want to know, as being a second, how can I make this fun?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? How can it seems like it's not fun, some of this stuff, right? Yeah. But how could it be?
That's what's not fun. The holding on. You just simply allow it to flow, as the Tao says, and all the ancient wisdom. You stop grasping.
Let it go.
Let it go. And welcome in the space. Space is an invitation for an upgrade. So whatever is offering space, whether it be space in time, space in speed, where you say, I'm injured at the moment, I have to slow down, space in the shift of a job, a relationship, where you live, this is an opportunity for life to then represent an upgrade to you, which is a reflection as to how you have evolved. And when you're no longer holding on to the past, then you no longer need to survive into the future, and then you can thrive in each moment.
Like an ego death.
Over and over and over.
Wow, that was quite a transmission.
Yeah.
Paul.
Paul, that is profound. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
If we want to know more, how can we best communicate with you?
So I have a book, The Big You,
Big You.
A Guide to Self-Revolution, and that's on Amazon, Audible, audiobooks, any place, Spotify, any place that you can get audiobooks or buy a book, it's there. The audiobook is actually only 3.5 hours, so it's actually a relatively short investment of your time. And then, as I said, there is on my website, paulgotel.com, there's about 1,800 little videos, 2-minute videos where I do little downloads. I will be putting together a YouTube channel at some point. I have about 10 or 15 speeches now, like long form. So part of the next phase is to take those, edit those down, put them available. Because the situation now is, for me, the point of my existence is to remove my requirement to survive it. So in other words, I am looking to live this concept of fluidity where I am more and more of my life is an opportunity to just get out of the way and like sit down and this happen. Because 10 minutes before I started talking to you guys, I was like, what? I'm playing? What? And then it happens. And then I remember, this is my purpose, everything else is secondary. So that's my reconfiguration that's happening now.
Well, I'm glad to be part of it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, great remembering.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
I just have to affirm for the audience in our last 30 seconds here, Paul Gotel has been a magnificent guide to wisdom, to quality experiences, to fun, to music. He's an extraordinary artist, and I suggest you check him out for his offerings of every media.
All right.
Thank you, Paul.
And that's the report from Maui today.
That's right.
Thank you for being there.
Thank you, Anais. It's been so
you.
nice to have you too. Yeah. And Bobby, mwah,
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah, love you. Thank you, Paul. That was really, it affected me. It was very profound. It's very apropos at this moment in time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you again.
Yes, good to see you.
That was it. And that's a wrap.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Paul.